Hello. So, we are back for week 7 of OFC Season 10. And while I say most matchups are interesting, or weird, or some kind of strange, or difficult, this one is probably the most interesting. Because we have got probably as close to a mirror match as Draft League's ever seen. Maybe that's not true, but you know, it's... we've got pretty close to a mirror match here. Because we've got a lot of very similar things about our teams. Mostly due to Pokemon. We have Mudkipz here. They have Cinderace, Rotom Wash, Espafra, Revavroom, which can Terra, Slitherwing, Bellibolt, which can Terra, Hydreigon, Landorus, Dunsparce, Cacturne, which can Terra, and Mimikyu. So we have 4 of the same Pokemon, as well as both having a really top-end kind of ground type. They have Landorus, which is a lot more versatile, like it can be defensive, it can be offensive, and we have Ting-Lu, which is going to be defensive and defensive. So, but yeah, just the fact that we have 4 of the same Pokemon, granted, you know, our Dunsparce can Terra, so therefore ours is better, is really kind of funny. So, yeah, I don't think I need to tell you about 4 of their Pokemon. I'm not expecting Dunsparce, because I don't think Dunsparce is good into my team, so I'm not expecting it. They've got a Espafra, so I do need to respect it. Thankfully, it's without Terror, so it's not nearly as bad. What is able to Terror are the Revavroom, the Bellibolt, and the Cacturne. Revavroom with Terror can be quite scary. In fact, that's how they won their last match, was a combination of Mimikyu and Terror Ground Revavroom, just both setting up and kind of cleaning house. So I do need to at least have some kind of respect for Revavroom. With how I've kind of built my team, I think I will have something somewhere for Revavroom, depending on what Terror it is. I will just need to kind of make sure I figure that out earlier rather than later, while having the necessary pieces alive to deal with the thing. But yeah, I should somewhere have an answer to Revavroom. Revavroom can also set up T-Spikes, but I do have a Glowking, so I wouldn't expect that here. Glowking is one of my 2 Pokemon that I've brought every week other than my own Cinderace. So, yeah. Bellibolt I can actually see coming, strangely enough. I think Terra Grass would actually be a pretty decent check to Rotom Wash. So I could absolutely see like a Terra Bellibolt just coming into sponge hits. Because then it also gets Water moves, so I can actually see it coming for like Ting-Lu as well. Like it's a water / electric type ish kind of thing. So we can kind of sit in on Ting-Lu. So I could actually see Bellibolt coming. And then the last one, Cacturne, I'm really hoping doesn't come. Not because I think it's good here, I personally don't think it's good here, but because Fat Rat now has got a bet on with me that they're actually going to bring Cacturne, and I said I would eat a hat on camera if they bring it. So I'm hoping they don't. Less so about actually having to eat the hat. I'll eat a hat any day of the week, you know, to prove I'm wrong. It's more so the fact that I've got to do more editing. I've actually got to put that in the video somewhere, which is great. As for the other Pokemon that they don't have, that they have that we don't, Slitherwing is something I've got to respect. I don't actually have that many ways to resist Slitherwing. The 2 main ways of resisting both of its stabs are via a flying type and a fairy type, and I only have 1 of those, so you can guess already who's coming. Landorus is quite scary. Regardless of what it's doing, even if it's just U-turning all day, it's still going to be very annoying to deal with. I do have some pretty nice things for it, obviously. I've got a Rotom Wash, I've got a Glastrier. I could even bring Defiant Primeape here and make sure that that thing's not coming in on it, but I'll tell you right now, Primeape's not coming. So, and the big one actually is Mimikyu. Mimikyu is surprisingly the one I'm the most scared about. Half because I think it does really well into my team, and half because I looked at the team at first, didn't see Mimikyu, and I was like, oh wait, Hydreigon just rolls this team. And then I looked again and saw Mimikyu, and I was like, aww. So, yeah. But I still think Hydreigon does really well here. So, yeah, I think, as for what I expect them to bring, I would expect them to bring Cinderace. I would expect them to bring Rotom Wash. I would expect Revavroom. Landorus, Mimikyu. And Slitherwing. But if they don't bring Revavroom, I think they bring... I think they bring Bellibolt. I think they bring one of those two. Because I don't think they bring a Spafford into Tinglu and Hydreigon. Well, I guess Hydreigon is not as big of an issue. But I don't think they bring a Spafford into Tinglu. I just don't think that's a thing that they do. I see no reason for them to. And Hydreigon, like, I do have a Sylveon. They could bring Hydreigon. I think Hydreigon's pretty reasonable, but I just think the other Pokemon are better. That's all. So, I could see Hydreigon maybe over Landorus, I think, or maybe over Slitherwing. So, but I think Mimikyu's coming regardless. I don't see a reason for them not to bring Mimikyu, I don't see a reason for them not to bring Rotom, and I don't see a reason for them not to bring Cinderace. Unlike myself, we're not bringing Cinderace for the first time, meaning that the only Pokemon we haven't brought, that we've brought every week so far this season is going to be Glowking. So we're starting off with Glastrier. This is a similar concept to the Glastrier I brought last week, where I brought kind of, was it a couple weeks ago? It might have been a couple weeks ago, where I brought like a super defensive one. But we've kind of gone with a mix of defensive and offensive, because we've got the defense that kind of helps take on things, but also we've got a good amount of attack. Hold up, I actually have notes, because I built this team a few weeks ago. There we go, okay. So, the attack investment is to Oko, Rotom Wash after Stealth Rock with Close Combat at +2. I don't know, that's the note I wrote. I don't know if it's a max HP one, if it's a... I know it's not physically defensive, I know that for sure, but it might be a max HP one. The remaining moves I forgot to mention are Heavy Slam, Icicle Crash, and the Swords Dance. That is the reason why we're able to take that thing out. And then we put the rest into defense. We've got Boots, and the thing that I haven't mentioned yet, and why you might be thinking, why do you want to stay in on a Rotom Wash when it can Will-O-Wisp you? Well, we're Terra Fire. So, the idea is, one, obviously I'm not bringing Cinderace, so I'm not going to have a Fire type anyway. But the other thing is, I wanted a type that could resist Mimikyu. Or at least one of Mimikyu's moves, and I was like, well, it's not going to be Dark, so to resist like a Ghost move, I'm not going normal, that seems like a bad idea. So it's got to be resisting one of the Fairy Stabs. And out of the three, I felt like that Fire was the most useful, because it also let me resist Cinderace hits, which is really nice. Also, Cinderace can't Will-O-Wisp me. Steel could have some applications. And Fire does obviously make me weak to some Pokemon. Obviously, it makes me weak to Rotom Wash. But if it is going to be able to... If it is going to be... If I end up getting a kill with Glastrier, and then able to trade with Rotom Wash as well, again, going for that going for a 2-for-1 trade with Glastrier would be really nice. Otherwise as well, because of the physical defense we've got, and our natural physical defense on top of that, we take Landorus not as bad as you would expect. With the attack investment, we're definitely KOing a Landorus. So, yeah. Glastrier looks really solid here. As usual, probably going to be a mid-game breaker to see what holes we can punch in their team for the rest of our team to get going. Next up, probably the biggest spice, and as I sort of mentioned it, but Rat helped me with this team as always, and this is the spice they came up with, and I was like, you know, kinda dig it. Dragon Dance Hydreigon, but we have no physical attacks. So the idea here is we're using Dragon Dance not for the attack, but just for the speed and nothing else. The remainder of our moveset is Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Flash Cannon with an Expert Belt, where we just max speed, max special attack to rival our Scarf Hydreigon. So the point of this is, unless Espathra gets a speed boost, this can outspeed everything on their team with 1 DD. And with Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Flash Cannon, we can do a good chunk into a lot of different Pokemon. So the Expert Belt is notably here for opposing Hydreigon that can live, and then Mimikyu with the Flash Cannon, because after Rocks and the Disguise is broken, and Disguise makes it take about the same as Stealth Rock Chip, Flash Cannon will get it there. So that's the goal. Originally I was going to go for more of a pivoty one, but the DD one kind of stuck with me as like something I can kind of use late game when everything's weakened down. Because my team's like got fat and a lot of recovery, their team doesn't. Their team kind of has a lot more breaking power, which obviously is really good against my defensive stuff, but if I'm able to stabilize and keep on top of things, then just whittling things down, getting chip on them all before Hydreigon comes in the late game and gets a DD off and then proceeds to sweep the rest up, actually could be really nice. And also, they've got multiple Pokemon that can Will-O-Wisp. They might try to go to Rotom Wash, see that I'm DDing, and Will-O-Wisp me, because they can't really do a lot back, and then I just nuke the thing, and then, like, then we're looking real good. So, yeah, I think this could be really solid. So, looking forward to see if this will work. Next up, mixed, bulky, offensive Rotom Wash, kind of a mix of both. I looked at this, like, just before recording, and I was like, I feel like I go faster on Rotom Wash, and then I looked, because again, I made notes for some of these Pokemon. The first 3, actually, the last 3 don't have any notes. But, the first, all the calcs are actually for something, so, we've got Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and Protect, with the lefties, just to get a bit of extra lefties gain. The defensive investment means that we live a +2 Adamant Life Orb Play Rough from Mimikyu, and the offensive investment means we OHKO a max HP Landorus after Rocks. So that's just all the speed I had left over. So obviously there's going to be situations where, like, whose Rotom's going to be faster. I know I don't have a lot, and I don't even think I outspeed Landorus, to be honest. I don't think I get it. So I'm a pretty slow Rotom, but both of those calcs are so nice that I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Because if I do get, like, hit by that Play Rough, then I can either Will-O-Wisp the thing and hopefully neuter it, or just Volt Switch out into something faster like Hydreigon and then take it out. So, that's the idea with Rotom. It's generally really good. Obviously, it's great into Landorus. It's pretty decent into Cinderace as well, because Cinderace doesn't really get a Grass-type move. It's decent into some form of Terra Revavroom, actually, can be pretty decent into. Can be decent into Sliverwing. So, yeah, looks pretty solid. Next up, pretty physically defensive Slowking. We've got a little bit of special attack kind of spare. But we've got Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, Future Sight, and Chilly Reception. With a Cassette Berry, because again, I'm worried about Mimikyu. So, obviously there's things like Landorus and Hydreigon that are going to be coming in. But Ice Beam helps, like, check those. Future Sight, I'm actually running for once. Who would have thought? I kind of had a move slot spare, to be honest. I was like, I don't really know what to run here. So I just ran a Future Sight. It's pretty decent. They do have a Hydreigon, sure, but if I just bring in Sylveon, they can't bring in Hydreigon, and then they've got to go to something else. So, and to be honest, they don't really have a lot else for switching into Psychic-type moves if they don't bring Spaffra. So, we could be looking good there. Do I remember which way the calcs went on terms of bulk and offense? No. I think it was I went for the defense first. I don't remember what the defense did. It might be Shadow Claw into Shadow Claw from Mimikyu with a Life Orb. Because I know I was always looking at Life Orb Mimikyu calcs. So that might be it, but this one I didn't write any notes for, so hopefully that'll help as another piece of insurance against Mimikyu. Next up, say it with me everyone, it's physically defensive Sylveon. Woo! Let's go Sylveon! It's done the same thing every week. But it's my only way to resist both stabs of what's it called? Of Slitherwing, so I've got to bring it. Wish Protect, Hyper Voice, and Baton Pass for the momentum. They've got a lot of momentum mons, so I'm going to bring Baton Pass to make sure I get momentum as well. Obviously, Wish Passing around to a bunch of Pokemon here is going to be really nice. Nothing too crazy to say about Sylveon. I think it's going to be good. They've also got a Hydreigon, so, yeah. Last but not least, specially defensive Tinglu. I do have to respect his Spaffra, even if I don't think they're going to bring it. I've got to bring something specially defensive as well, so here we are. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Ruination, and Whirlwind. I've got to pick one of the setup hazard options, and I went with Rocks for a very simple reason, and part of the reason why I'm not choosing to bring Cinderace or Serena. We're bringing no removal here. Their only real way to set up hazards, as far as I'm concerned, is Rocks and then T-Spikes, right? I'm not crazy. They have Spikes on Cacturne. Apologies. So they have Rocks and T-Spikes. T-Spikes I can absorb with my own Glowking. And then it's Rocks, and that's it. So if we both set up Rocks, then Court Change doesn't matter. So I think we don't need removal. Because we're both going to Court Change each other's Rocks to each other? Yeah, that doesn't seem really worth it. They don't have a lot of removal, mind you, but because of Court Change, I don't really want to be going for it. Oh, they actually have no removal. It's not okay. It's not counting Court Change here for some reason. But yeah. Outside of Court Change, I actually don't have any removal, but because of Court Change and so because I've got Tinglu, I feel like they're going to bring Court Change. So yeah. But otherwise, specially defensive Tinglu looks really solid. It's really nice into Hydreigon, which is obviously great. It can be okay into Rotom, depending on how they want to do things, and hopefully, if I can get them, if they're choiced, then I can choice them into an electric move. Obviously, it's great to have, and for the mind games, if more than anything, generally just pretty solid. If they do bring Belly Bolt, I can probably sponge hits from it. It's mostly for Hydreigon, but also I figured it, like, I've got to have something special defensive somewhere, because I've got 3 physically defensive mons. 4 if you count Glastria, so I've got to bring something specially defensive. But it's still going to do good damage. Obviously, Earthquakes will do decent damage into a number of things that aren't floating, because they do have a few that will float. But Ruination, Chunking, anything for 50% is always great. Things getting 50% on Rotom, on Landorus, on what's it called, Slitherwing, on Revavroom, any of those mons I'll take. I don't know how it works on Mimikyu, but we'll find out, I suppose. So yeah, I'm not choosing to bring removal. At first I was like, okay, so I had, what was it? I had Glastria, no, I didn't have Glastria. I had Hydreigon, Slowking, Sylveon, Tinglu, and I was like, okay, so I'd probably need Rotom or Glastrier, and then I need Cinderace or Serena. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wait, I want both Glastrier and Rotom, but I don't want Serena. And I don't really like Cinderace into this matchup, to be honest. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's great. Like, Lando probably just comes in every time with a Rocky Helmet and just eats me for days. And I'm like, that doesn't seem very good. So I'm just like, screw it, I'm just not going to break Cinderace. I don't need court change. Because if we're both just setting up rocks and that's it, that's fine. We've got lefties on a ton of Mons. This is only, Hydreigion's only coming in the late game. Galokin could heal itself with regen, and of course, like, everything else is lefties. Even Rotom with Protect as well, and Glastrier's got Boots. So, yeah, I think it's worth it. Yeah, that's the team. We're playing the match later today, and wish me luck, because this is our winning in. If we win this, we're playoff guaranteed. If we lose it, we gotta win the next one to get it guaranteed playoffs. So, wish me luck. Alright, let's do this. Okay, they don't bring Rotom. They do not bring Rotom. That's the big thing I noticed. No Lando either. Ooh. No Lando, no Rotom. No Lando, no Rotom. No Cacturn, so I don't have to eat my hats. They do bring Revavroom. They do bring Mimikyu, unfortunately. Oh, what on earth do I lead here? I mean, Rotom's pretty good. They don't bring Lando, so I've got 3 volts, which is for days. I'll have to check if his Spafford gets a Grass-type move at some point. I think Rotom's pretty reasonable. We'll just lead Rotom. Elite Hydreigon. I'm unfortunately physically defensive. If they have a rocket, this is it. How much am I going to take from a Hydreigon? Specs Draco could kill me. The thing is, this is most likely their rocker, and I don't want to just protect in front of rocks. Why is turn 1 the worst? Oh. I want to boil. It's not Specs, thank God. Okay, and another Draco won't kill because I've got Protect. Now get me into my Sylveon, please. I would like to know if you're choiced. I got a Revavroom as I'm able to Baton Pass out into Letinglu. And I can either Rocks or Whirlwind. Rock seems like the play. Getting Chipper down is nice. That, I'm guessing, is a Scarf Hydreigon, the way they're using it. Oddest Scarf, I'm guessing. Photosynthesis attack, okay. Well, I go to the only thing I've got that can take this on. You are terrifying. Really don't appreciate that crit. Based on that damage, am I dead to an Iron Head? Or Heavy Slam, I guess? Sliver? Booster energy. That doesn't seem like a lot of attack. But it went for Leech Life. That was a Leech Life crit. So it's not Adamant for sure. It doesn't seem like it's got much. It's got like no attack investment. It's just bulky, I'm guessing. Sylveon? Oh right, that wasn't against me. Never mind, it's offensive. Heck, that even... Right, no, because that's a crit. Crit. That was a max roll. Okay, so does Heavy Slam kill me? Heavy Slam would kill me, but they would have gone for it. I went for EQ. And I don't care if it's predictable, I'm gonna protect. I'm gonna keep my Sylveon nice and healthy. This was gonna kind of one shot with Slitherwing. EQ does 44. 45 max, I'm only dead to crit. So I could Hyper Voice. But like, I'd be Hyper Voicing a Revavroom. I'm just gonna protect. Like, I want to go to full. Like, their chance to do this with Slitherwing is pretty much gone because a light breeze is going to make this thing fall over. Especially after rocks. And it's not going to be doing as much damage because the Photosynthesis is gone. Yeah, I don't care if Revavroom comes in. That's fine. I am physically defensive, but I don't really want to take that chance yet, so... I mean, I can Whirlwind. So I want to see what Terra this is. Because they're going to go for a Terra here. Almost certainly. And it's going to do a lot, don't get me wrong. And Tinglu's going to lose a lot of health. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see what Terra it is. And then accordingly I can plan out from there. It's Ice. I do take a ton, but I do get to Whirlwind the thing out, and in comes Hydreigon. This is a Scarf Hydreigon, at least from what I was able to tell. That actually means Glastrial Walls the thing, which is really, really nice. Glastrial Walls it. Is super nice. As soon as I get my Terra Fire off anyway. But yeah, now that I look at it, Terra Fire Glastrial looks so good here. Because they didn't bring Rotom or Lando. So Terra Fire Glastrial looks insane here. I don't want to go to Glastrian now, of course. Because they can just Iron Head. I almost want to go to Hydreigon, but then if they just go for a Shift Gear, I'm in trouble. So I have CC for it. Yeah, I'm afraid of just them going for Shift Gear here. So I'm gonna go to Hydreigon. They do just Shift Gear, okay. Well, I'm gonna double out into Glastrier. And hopefully they don't call it. I should have gone Glow King, really. They do go for Terra Blast, really, really nice. And I'm able to go for Terra Fire here. And then, do I need to... Reverb Room? I want to look at max HP. Terra Ice. Neither Heavy Slam nor Close Combat's gonna kill if it's max HP. They're the same power. So I'm just gonna go for a Heavy Slam here. Nice, we get to take out the Reverb Room. And to be honest, I don't see them having a lot to break this. They've got EQ on Slither. That's sick. And I probably kill the Slither. But, I don't see a reason to lose this. I'm pretty weakened. And Espathra is looking to be a bit of an issue. Unless I can get a wish off to Tinglu. Which I think is unlikely. How much would that do? Slither. Close band without the band. Then Terra Fire. EQ will not kill me. Yes, I will take this. So does +2 get me? Mimikyu? No, not even with Life Orb. Die. I'll take Mimikyu out. That frees up Slowking so much. I'm not afraid of you. You're not killing me. Come on! That crit's so annoying. I would have been at so much more health. Like, I would have been at what? I would have been at like 25%. God, that's so annoying. Okay, how do I not lose to a Espathra? Tinglu versus Espathra. The play is to go to Tinglu now. Oh my god, they doubled the Slitherwing. That's crazy. I mean, I get my lefties here, which is really, really nice. But it's Sylveon. They CC. I'm always putting a wish in the air. I am always putting a wish in the air. And unless this is super offensive, it won't kill Tinglu. Max damage is 120, I am at 122. So it's got to be a boosting item to kill me. It's Calm Mind, we're able to get in Tinglu. I get a speed boost. Oh, and I can will win this thing out for now. It's 26%. Dindarachi comes in with no item. Good to know. This is a good sack for glass, so let's bring in glass. Go for HJK. Slowking is my play then. Let me check that damage on our Spaffer. +1. Oh, that's +1 for death. +1 for attack. Did 29 to 35. So I don't think that's very invested. It might just be like modest or something. Cinderace just gets to click Hyper Voice here, but I'm worried about it actually having Iron Head. I could go to Slowking. I think Slowking's pretty reasonable. Where's Sylveon? But I'm gonna go Slowking. I'm gonna go Slowking. I actually have Regenerator this week. And I'm just gonna go for a Sludge Bomb here. Gonna do good damage. Almost get the kill, actually. Do I set Rotom here? I could. This dies on entry. I could go to my own Hydro. No, because they could Draco. They could just drop a Draco. I don't want to lose Slowking. I think Slowking has value. I mean, what are they going to do to Sylveon? The worst they can do is U-turn, and then I can protect on whatever comes in. Yeah. You get Roost, don't you? Yeah, okay. Go for another Calm Mind. How much is my EQ gonna do to this thing? 34? And that's against like a max defense build, right? Like... So, +2 D-Gleam? No, +2. Well, it's probably gonna do about like 36. So if I Ruination into EQ, I probably get the kill. So I'm gonna Ruination here. Nice, we get it. Big chillin'. Alright. That's its Spaffer down, so Tinglu I can just sack now. I don't need Tinglu. Although, to be fair, why do I need to sack it? I can just go to Sylveon. I'm not afraid of you. Sylveon can just clean this up on its own. Like, no joke. They can't switch Slitherwing out. Otherwise it dies to rocks, so... Go for Protect, see what they want to click. They have Gunk Shot. And then, now they're a Poison type. So Slowking should be able to do this. I'm guessing it's banded. Just like, based on the way they're playing it. Gunk Shot. Yeah, that's certainly banded. Ice Beam a kill against Poison. No. Go Sylveon. Go back to Ace. I Protect, see what they're locking themselves into. It's Gunk Shot. And then Ice Beam does 32, so we go to Glow King. GG, we are locked for playoffs. 5-0 win, we're now 5-3 plus 11 differential, to my knowledge. That was a super good game. Oh my god, we played that so well. Oh, Terra... I'm sad that Hydreigon didn't get to do anything. Sylveon fucking hard carried. Thank you, Sylveon, as per usual. Thank you, Tinglu. I'm glad I brought it, because I didn't think they'd bring a Spaffler. I didn't think they'd go for it. But, but I'm glad I brought it. So... And then, like I say, Glastria. Oh, Glastria. Terrafire was such a right call. In that game, Terra Steel would have been okay as well, but they would have just brought in Banded Cinderace. So, yeah, that would have been an issue. God bless, like, this core of Slowking, Sylveon, Tinglu. But that means, like I say, we are, to my knowledge now, 5-2, we're not 5-3. 5-2 plus 11. Which is really, really solid. We've really turned it around. Like, we had an okay start to the season. But we have really pushed ahead now. We're doing really, really well. Yeah, 5-2 plus 11. So, yeah, really solid stuff. And that is going to almost certainly lock us for playoffs. So, and that is going to do it. We've got one more week left. So wish us luck for that. Hopefully we can pull out another dub there. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.